Hi, welcome to Satoshi Radio, the place where you learn everything about Bitcoin. I'm Bart, and today we're checking out the Coldcard Q hardware wallet. In this episode, I'll walk you through installing the Coldcard Q hardware wallet. We'll generate a seed phrase, set up a passphrase, connect the wallet to the Nunchuk Wallet on our phone, and Sparrow Wallet on our laptop, and even sign a completely air-gapped transaction. So plenty to cover. But first, let's talk about the Coldcard itself. What makes this hardware wallet special? It's made by Coinkite in Canada and is essentially the big brother of the standard Coldcard MK4. Big shout out to Bitcoin Brabant for lending me out this Coldcard Q to test. Coldcard hardware wallets are pretty popular among Bitcoiners. That's because they are Bitcoin only and packed with features that serious users appreciate. Multi-sig capabilities, air-gap transaction signing, NFC, and easy ways to export your wallet details to your laptop or phone. I've personally enjoyed using the MK2, MK3 and recently the MK4, so I'm quite curious about this Q model. The Coldcard Q definitely adds a little extra. It's noticeably larger than the MK4, mainly due to the big keyboard. But this keyboard makes typing in those long passphrases much less painful. The screen is also significantly bigger, it has 2 MicroSD card slots, and it runs on batteries. Yes, you actually heard that correct. You can use the Coldcard without being tethered by a USB cable. Alright, enough of the chit chat. Time to get this Coldcard set up. First thing after unboxing, pop in 3 AAA batteries. Done? Good. Now press the power button. The screen lights up and you will see the Coldcard performing a self-verification check. The boot screen shows the firmware version, in this case 1.2.3 Q. When you first start the Coldcard, you will see the bag number. This number should match the number printed on the tamper-evident plastic bag your Coldcard came in. Inside the bag, you will also find a small piece of the bag material with the same number printed on it. Double, no, triple check that all 3 numbers match. If they don't, stop right there and contact Coinkite, the manufacturer. Don't proceed with a potentially compromised device. After confirming the security number, we can start the setup. Select Choose PIN code. The Coldcard PIN has 2 parts, a prefix and a suffix. Let me explain this bit. The Coldcard PIN system is unique. You enter the first part, the prefix, then the Coldcard displays 2 unique words. These words are tied specifically to your Coldcard and the prefix you just entered. This is an anti-phishing measure. It helps you confirm you're dealing with your actual untampered Coldcard before you enter the second part of your PIN. If you ever see different words than the ones you noted during the setup, stop immediately. The device might be compromised or simply not yours. Only enter the suffix, the second part, after recognizing the correct words. It's crucial to write down your PIN and those 2 words safely, because there's no recovery option for a lost PIN code. Okay, press 6 to continue. Time to enter the first part of the PIN. Then press enter. Now we can see our 2 anti-phishing words, calm and tennis. They are, as said, your visual check that the device is legitimate. For the second part of the PIN, I will choose 8473. Enter that and press enter again. Now we need to confirm the PIN. So I enter the first part, the prefix 4601. Check that the words displayed are indeed calm tennis, but for you the words will be different of course. And then I enter the second part, 8473, and hit enter. If you entered it correctly, you will land on the main menu. The options are New Seed Words, Import Existing, Migrate Coldcard, Advanced Tools, and lastly Settings. The top 2 are our main focus now, creating a new seed or importing one you already have. We'll ignore the other options for the moment. Let's start by creating a new seed. Select New Seed Words. You can choose between 12 words, 24 words, or Advanced Settings. Under Advanced, you will see an option to generate the seed using dice rolls. We won't do the dice roll thing in this video. Personally, I lean towards a 12-word seed. Less writing means fewer chances for my terrible handwriting to betray me, and it's generally considered just as secure as 24 words. So I will choose the 12-word option. The Coldcard will now generate the 12 seed words. After a few seconds, all 12 will appear on the screen. Time to write them down. Writing down, or otherwise storing your seed words, is called making a backup, a seed backup. You could opt for a more robust storage method, like the Treasure Keep method. Whatever you do, never store your seed digitally. Not in a password manager, not as a sneaky photo, and not as a text file on your computer. Just don't. Now a little quiz to make sure you actually wrote down your seed correctly, or were paying attention. It asks for word number 7. In our case, that's matter. That's option 1, so I press 1. Next question, word number 3. That's shoe. So I press 2. Repeat this for all the remaining quiz questions. After entering the last correct word, the screen will show applying. A few moments later, you will see a welcome screen stating that the Coldcard has been automatically configured with best security practices. This means that things like USB and NFC are disabled by default. We can enable them later if needed, which we will do by the way. Scroll down and press Enter. This brings us back to the main menu, but it looks a little bit different. Instead of new seed words and import existing, we now see Ready to Sign, Passphrase, Scan any QR code, and Address Explorer. First things first, let's set up a passphrase. A passphrase is essentially an optional extra word or words or a sentence added on top of your 12 or 24 seed words. Let me break that down. Your 12 seed words generate a wallet. Let's call this Wallet A. If you add a passphrase, your 12 seed words plus that specific passphrase generate a completely different wallet. Let's call this Wallet B. So if someone finds your 12-word seed backup but doesn't know your passphrase, they can only access Wallet A, potentially empty or holding a small amount. Not Wallet B, where you keep the serious money. Think of it like an optional two-factor authentication for your Bitcoin wallet. Therefore, it's vital not to store your seed phrase and passphrase together. As mentioned, never store the seed digitally. The passphrase, however, I'd argue it's generally okay to store it digitally, perhaps in a secure password manager. If someone only gets the passphrase, it's useless without the seed words. Back to the Coldcard. To add a passphrase, scroll down to Passphrase and hit Enter. You'll get some information about passphrases. Read it, scroll down and press Enter. Now you can type in your passphrase. It can be a single word, a sentence, whatever you like. But important, it's case sensitive. So password is different from password or password. I'll choose Satoshi Radio all caps. Then press Enter. The next screen shows something interesting, the wallet fingerprint. This is like the wallet's unique ID, a way to identify it. We see the fingerprint for the new wallet, seed plus the passphrase, is A8C988E8. We also see the fingerprint of the original wallet, just the seed, which is 63DBAF25. So, relating this back to our example, wallet A, seed only fingerprint 63DBAF25. Wallet B, seed plus passphrase Satoshi Radio in all caps, fingerprint is A8C988E8. So both wallets are completely functional, but from now on we will only use the passphrase wallet. So we press Enter to apply the passphrase. We land back on the main menu, and again, things look different. Let's compare the menu without the passphrase, left, and with the passphrase, right. Looking at the header bar on the right, we see a few changes. First, caps is lit up, just indicating caps lock is on because of my passphrase choice. More importantly, we see passphrase and TMP seed. This confirms that the passphrase is active and that it's treated as a temporary seed. This means the combined seed, master seed plus passphrase, will be wiped from the device's memory when you power it off. You will need to re-enter the passphrase every time you want to access this specific passphrase wallet. Finally, we see the fingerprint A8C988E8 displayed prominently, both in the header and in the main menu area. This confirms we are currently operating within the passphrase protected wallet. On the left screen, no passphrase active, you will see 63DBAF25, the fingerprint for the master seed wallet. Alright, let's take a breath. We've created the seed, added the passphrase and checked the fingerprints. Nice to do that together, right? You know what else is nice? The Bitcoin Alpha newsletter. Every Monday you get the latest news and every Friday a market analysis. You can try it out for free. Go to bitcoinalpha.eu/offer and drop your email. You won't regret it. Over 10,000 people in the Netherlands are already subscribed. Back to the main program. Now that we have our seed phrase and passphrase set up, we can get to the real business, receiving and sending Bitcoin. The Coldcard differs from wallets like the Trezor or the Ledger here. You only get the hardware device, not dedicated software wallet applications. This means you get to choose which software wallet you want to pair it with. In this tutorial, I'll demonstrate two popular choices: Sparrow Wallet on the computer and Nunchuck on the mobile phone. Let's start with Sparrow Wallet. In my opinion, it's the best desktop Bitcoin wallet available right now. It's packed with functionality, has a clean interface and receives frequent updates. If you don't have Sparrow Wallet yet, you can download it from sparrowwallet.com. Check the link. We're going to export the wallet we created on the Coldcard, the one with the passphrase active, to Sparrow using a MicroSD card. First, we need to format the MicroSD card using the Coldcard itself. Insert the MicroSD card into one of the Coldcard slots. From the main menu, make sure again it's the passphrase wallet, navigate to Advanced Tools, File Management, Format SD card, and then press Enter to confirm. With the SD card now formatted, let's export our wallet. Go back to the main menu, navigate to Advanced Tools, and then Export Wallet. Instead of the generic Export XPub, choose the specific option for Sparrow Wallet. The next screen asks you if you want to save the wallet file to the SD card or display it as a QR code. In this case, we want to use the SD card, so we press 1. You will see a confirmation that a file named sparrow-export.json has been created on the SD card. Now eject the SD card from your Coldcard and insert it into your laptop. Open Sparrow Wallet. In Sparrow, click File and then on Import Wallet. A dialog appears with several options. We're using a Coldcard, so select Coldcard and then click on Import File. Navigate to your MicroSD card and select the sparrow-export.json file. For script type, choose native SegWit, which is P2WPKH. Then click Import. Sparrow will ask you to name the wallet. Let's call it Coldcard Q. Finally, you can set an optional password for accessing this wallet within Sparrow. We'll skip this for now and choose No Password. Sparrow will now scan the blockchain for transactions associated with this wallet. I actually sent a small transaction, about 10 euros worth, to this wallet earlier, so we have something to send later on in this tutorial. Let's look at that transaction. Click on it in the Transactions tab. We can see its status is currently unconfirmed. It's floating around in a mempool, waiting to be included in a block. Let's also verify the receiving addresses in Sparrow match those on the Coldcard. In Sparrow, click the Addresses tab on the left. You will see a list of your receiving addresses. And hey, wait a second, do you see that pop up? While we were looking, it seems that our incoming transaction just got its first confirmation. We will check that out in a moment. First, grab the Coldcard again, still in the Passphrase wallet. Go to the main menu and select Address Explorer. The first address shown ends in ZPFA4. To see subsequent addresses, navigate down to SegWit P2WPKH and press Enter. This shows the first 10 addresses derived from this wallet. We can see the second address ends in MDNMQ. Let's check if Sparrow agrees. Yup, the first address matches what we saw earlier, and the second address in Sparrow also ends in MDNMQ. Perfect match. Back in the Transactions tab in Sparrow, we can indeed see our incoming transaction is now confirmed, included in block 880081. Great! Now we have confirmed funds we can use to test sending. Sparrow visually represents confirmation progress with a filling pie chart icon next to the transaction. With Sparrow set up on the computer, let's get a wallet working on our phone using Nunchuck. Nunchuck is available for both iOS and Android. It's a solid app with cool features like multisig support and NFC integration. Download it on your App Store and open it up. When you open Nunchuck, you will see options like Add Key, Create Hot Wallet, or Recover Existing Wallet. We want to add our Coldcard Q as a key and then create a wallet using that key. So tap Add Key. Nunchuck supports various hardware wallets. Choose Coldcard. The next screen gives options for connecting NFC, QR code, or file transfer. I generally recommend NFC or QR code for speed and convenience. For this tutorial, let's choose NFC. Nunchuck presents us with a quick guide. Step 1. Initialize the Coldcard. We did that. Step 2. Unlock the Coldcard and apply the passphrase. Also done. Step 3. Enable NFC on the Coldcard. That makes sense. We saw earlier that NFC was disabled by default for enhanced security. To enable NFC on the Coldcard, go to Settings, Hardware On, Off, NFC Sharing, Enable NFC. Press Enter to confirm. Now that NFC is enabled, go back to the Nunchuck app and tap Continue. Tap Continue again and it's ready to scan. On the Coldcard, still in the Passphrase wallet, navigate to Advanced Tools, Export Wallet. Now, slight deviation from Nunchuck's on-screen instructions. On the Coldcard, instead of the generic Export JSON, specifically choose the Nunchuck Export option. Don't change any settings on the next screen, just press Enter. Once the Coldcard finishes generating the export data, it will ask how you want to share it. We want to use NFC, so we press the NFC button. Finding the NFC sweet spot involves a little bit of good old awkward phone-on-device rubbing, but as you can see, it scanned quite quickly once I found it. Nunchuck now asks which key type you want to import. This could be a little bit clearer, honestly. We want the standard single-sig wallet, which corresponds to native SegWit. Select the top option, usually labeled with something like M8400 or just native SegWit. The other options are often used for multisig or are simply depreciated older legacy address types. Next, we will give the key a name in Nunchuck. I will call it Coldcard Q. The key is now added. Time to create the actual wallet interface in Nunchuck. Tap Create New Wallet. Tap Create New Wallet again. Give the wallet a name. I will use Coldcard Q again for consistency. Choose native SegWit as the wallet type and tap on Continue. Now select which keys will control this wallet. In other words, which signing devices will authorize transactions. We only have one key added, our Coldcard Q, so check that box. It's going to be a single signature wallet. Tap on Continue. Nunchuk now shows a summary. Wallet type, single sig standard, address type, native SegWit, signing device, Coldcard Q. Looks good. So we will continue. Tap Create Wallet. You'll be prompted to download a BSMS file. BSMS stands for Bitcoin Secure Multi-Signature Setup. This file contains information about your wallet setup, like the derivation paths and the public keys, but not your private keys. It's primarily useful for restoring multi-sig wallet configurations. For a single sig setup like ours, securely backing up your seed phrase and passphrase is the most critical part. You can save the BSMS file if you like. It's even safe to store it digitally. And boom! We're now on the wallet dashboard in Nunchuck. We made it! You might notice a few more test transactions I did off camera. The bottom transaction is the one we received earlier via Sparrow, now showing 5 confirmations. Alright, finally, the moment we've been building towards, sending a transaction. We could do this from Sparrow or Nunchuck. I will use Nunchuck for this demo because it lets us showcase a really cool feature of the Coldcard Q, scanning QR codes with its built-in reader, allowing for a fully air-gapped workflow. In Nunchuck, tap Send. On the next screen, enter the amount of Bitcoin you want to send. I'll choose to send the entire balance. After that, tap Continue. Now enter the recipient's Bitcoin address. I've copied a receiving address from my Strike wallet. Paste it into the address field and tap Create Transaction. The next screen is for setting the transaction fee. Nunchuck helpfully suggests a fee. I usually ignore that and set it up manually because I like to pretend I know it better, which I do. Tap Manual Fee Rate. I'll enter 12 sats per VByte. Different times when I recorded this tutorial. Always check a site like mempool.space for the current fee estimates before sending a real transaction. Tap Continue. Nunchuck displays a final transaction summary. Everything looks correct, so tap Confirm and Create Transaction. Before this transaction can be broadcast to the network, it needs to be signed by our private key, which lives securely on the Coldcard Q. In the pop-up, tap Export Transaction. Then choose Export via BBQR. BBQR is an animated QR code format optimized for Bitcoin data. You will see the animated QR code on your phone screen. Many hardware wallet cameras struggle with the dense QR codes, so I recommend setting the density to low. This is a key reason I often prefer Nunchuck for QR signing over wallets like Blue Wallet that lack this density option. Now on the Coldcard, make sure you're still in the Passphrase wallet menu. Select Ready to Sign, then press the dedicated QR button. The QR scanning screen appears. Point the Coldcard's QR scanner at your phone screen displaying the BBQR code. You will see progress indicators on the Coldcard as it scans the parts of the transaction data. It needed to scan 11 parts here. Once it has all the data, the transaction details appear on the Coldcard screen. Review the transaction details carefully on the Coldcard's trusted display. It shows we are sending 8,388 sats and paying a fee of 1,320 sats. Press Enter to approve the transaction. The Coldcard now signs the transaction and displays the signed transaction data as a new QR code on its screen. Back in the Nunchuck app, tap Import Signature. Choose the Import via QR option and scan the QR code displayed on the Coldcard. Once Nunchuck successfully imports the signature, tap Broadcast Transaction. And that's it! The transaction is sent to the Bitcoin network, waiting to be mined into a block. The beauty of this signing method is that it's completely air-gapped. The device holding your private keys, the Coldcard, never directly connects via USB to an internet-connected device, your phone or your computer, during the signing process. Data is transferred only via visually scanned QR codes. This significantly minimizes the attack surface for malware trying to steal your keys or tamper with your transaction. We used a MicroSD card earlier for the initial wallet setup, which is also considered an air-gapped method. And there you have it! In this episode we unboxed the Coldcard Q, set it up, created a seed phrase and a passphrase, connected the wallet to Nunchuck and Sparrow and topped it all off by performing a fully air-gapped Bitcoin transaction. Guys, pretty cool stuff. Overall, I'm quite impressed with the Coldcard Q. It's simply a very solid hardware wallet, absolutely packed with useful options. You can connect it to practically any decent Bitcoin software wallet. The QR code scanning is smooth, the NFC works well, the large screen is easy to read and the keyboard is incredibly handy. Plus, the fact that it runs on batteries is a huge plus for usability. The main drawback for me? The price. It's a top-of-the-line hardware wallet and the $240 price tag reflects that. Of course, you could opt for its slightly smaller sibling, the Coldcard MK4. It costs around $170 and still offers many of the same core features as the Q. Alright guys, that's it for this week. Did you find this video helpful? I hope so. If so, subscribe to Satoshi Radio for more tutorials like this one. If you still have questions about the Coldcard Q, Sparrow, Nunchuck or anything else, and is there anything else you want to see a video about, let me know in the comments. I will do my best to answer them all. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Ciao. Later.